Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to your EVS 1 class. So, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 7. And the name of the chapter is Importance of Soil. So, let us first know what are the things that we are going to learn in this chapter. So, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the soil and the living things that live in the soil. Secondly, we are going to learn about the importance of soil, how can we take care of the soil, and what is the difference between soil and sand. So let us start with soil and the living things. Before that, let us know some important words that we are going to discuss in today's class. So what are the words, what are the important words that we are going to discuss in today's class? In today's class, we are going to discuss about soil, organic matter, humus, fertile soil, and about microorganisms. Along with that, we are also going to talk about how the soil helps the plants to grow. So first of all, let us start about soil. So what is soil? Soil is the loose material that lies on top of the land. Now we all have seen lands while we travel from, especially by road, we all have seen the agricultural lands. So the loose material that is present at the top of the land is known as the soil. Next, coming to organic matter, the living things and the dead things are known as the organic matter. Okay, all the living organisms, they are known as the organic matter, be it the plants, the animals, insects, and whatever. They all are known as the organic matter. Next, we have the fertile soil. So, that soil which is rich in minerals and nutrients and helps plants to grow are known as fertile soil. So, soil rich in minerals and nutrients are known as fertile soil. Okay. Next, we talk about how does the soil help the plants to grow? Now, this is very, very important because we have been talking about that soil is required for the plants to grow and this and that. But how is it possible? So, let us learn about it. So, first of all, the soil supports the roots and enables the plant to stand above the ground to get light from the sun. Now children, we all know that plants are having the roots. The roots are under the soil, right? The roots are there under the soil and the roots spread, okay? The roots spread around in the soil. So what happens? The soil holds on to the roots. Suppose this is the soil, so what will happen? The roots grow in between the soil and the soil holds on to the roots. Alright, so the soil binds the roots to the land and makes the tree strong to be standing even when there is let's say a storm or very high intensity wind. Even then the roots keep standing only because of the support of the soil. All right. Also, when they stand, now you have to know this, that the soil, the plants need sunlight to grow. Not only do the plants need soil, but they also need sunlight to grow. So when they stand, they are able to take much of the sunlight. The leaves of the trees are able to take much of the sunlight, and this helps them a lot to make their own food and to grow. Secondly, the soil holds water and nutrients which help in the growth of plants. Now in the soil we get a lot of water. Okay, so when it rains, the water seeps into the soil. So this water is present inside the soil. So the soil holds the water and the nutrients in it, and the roots of the trees can easily take up the water and the nutrients from the soil to make their own food. Now we know that plants make their own food. Green plants make their own food, right? So from where do and what are the materials of making their own food? It is the water, the nutrients, the sunlight. So who is providing the plant with all of those? It is the soil which is providing the trees with the water and the nutrients. Now as you can you see the roots? How it is holding on to the soil? Yes, the roots of the plants are holding on to the soil. So children, now before we talk about how the microorganisms help the plants to grow, first let us know what are the microorganisms. So what are microorganisms, children? Microorganisms are very small, tiny organisms that are present inside the soil. They live in the soil. Okay, they live in the soil, and we have, if we talk about the examples, we have microorganisms like fungi, bacteria. Along with them, we also have some insects. Which help the plants to grow. Now, how do they help the plants to grow? Now, the microorganisms that are present inside the soil, what do? They eat. They feed on the dead plants and animals. Okay, the dead plants and animals, and when they feed on the dead plants and animals, they break the material. Okay, the material means the dead organic matter. Now, this broken materials becomes the food for the plants. Now, how do they become the food for the plants? They are having a lot of nutrients. Now, these nutrients get mixed in the soil, and the roots of the plants take up these nutrients from the soil, and these nutrients are used as food for the plants. Now, before we move any further, the soil also serves as a habitat for many of the insects. Okay, many insects and small animals. We are having insects, we are having rodents which live under the soil. Okay, they make small furrows and dens where they live. Also, in the right side of the picture that you can see, there are the earthworms. Now, these earthworms are also known as the farmer's friend. Yes, children, you have heard me very correct. They are known as the farmer's friend. Now, why are they called the farmer's friend? Now, what happens, children? Now, I just now told you that the microorganisms feed on the dead plants and animals, and they break the material. So, the nutrients of the broken material come out in the open. Now, these earthworms, what they do? The earthworm helps the nutrients to mix with the soil. The nutrients that is there from the dead plants and animals, and the soil is there, right? So, if the nutrients is just above, so all the plants will not, because the roots are inside the soil, so the plants won't be able to take up the nutrients. So, what does the earthworm do? It mixes. The earthworm mixes the soil with the nutrients. So, when the roots of the plants grow inside the soil, they can easily take up the water that is present in the soil. Along with that, they can take up the nutrients from the soil. Now, from where did we get these nutrients? From the dead plants and animals. Okay, children? And this is why they are known as the farmer's friend, because these nutrients are very, very important for the healthy growth of plants. Only when the plants have a healthy growth, then we are going to have what? Then we are going to have the healthy fruits and vegetables. We are going to have healthy food items. So, it is these plants, it is these earthworms which help in mixing the nutrients with the soil, and this nutrients along with the water is taken up by the roots of the plants, and it is used up by the plants to make their own food. So, what is soil? What are the things that we learned today? First of all, talking about the soil. Soil is a mixture of sand, small rocks, dead remains of plants and animals, water and air. Now, as I already told, that soil is also home to a variety of living organisms, not only microorganisms, but even small animals like the rodents, the snakes, and then we have the insects as well. Now, I have also mentioned another word, that is the organic matter. Now, these dead plants and animals, all the living organisms and the dead organisms, the living organisms and the dead living organisms are known as the organic matter. Then coming to fertile soil. Now, what is fertile soil? Fertile soil, the soil which is rich in nutrients and helps the plants to grow in a healthy manner, are the soil which is known as the fertile soil. Clear? So, what is fertile soil? Fertile soil is the soil which is rich in nutrients, that is, which is having a lot of nutrients and helps the plants to have a healthy growth. Alright. Next, we talk about the humus. You must have seen the word humus. Humus. Now, what do I mean by humus? Now, you see, children, when the microorganisms eat the dead plants and animals, the material, that is the dead plants and animals, they cannot eat all of that, right? So whatever they don't eat, they are left open in the soil, and those broken parts have lots of nutrients in them. Now the nutrients from the dead plants and animals, they form a dark layer above the soil. Now this layer is very, very nutritious. They are the best form of nutrition for the plants to grow, and this dark layer is known as the humus. Why it is known as the humus? Because it is nutrient rich. It is having a lot of nutrients from the dead organisms. Okay, so children, what are the things that we learned today? We learned about soil, humus, organic matter, fertile soil. And we also learned how the soil helps the plants to grow. How do the soil helps the plants to grow? The soil, first of all, it holds on to the roots of the plants so that the plant can stand straight and can take sunlight from the sun. And also it does not get broken whenever there is strong wind or storm. Second, we have the soil contains the water and the nutrients, and the roots of the plants take up the water and the nutrients from the soil, and the plants can make their own food using this water and the nutrients. And the third one that we have is about the microorganisms that live in the soil. Now, how do they help? The microorganisms provide nutrients to the soil, and the smaller organisms like the earthworms, they help in mixing the nutrients with the soil, so that the roots of the plants can get all the nutrients present in the soil and can use it for the formation of the food. Children, that's all for today's class. In our next class, we are going to learn the importance of soil. Now, when I'm talking about this importance, in our next class, we are going to learn how soil is important not only for agriculture but for other purposes. And we are also going to learn how to take care of the soil. Okay, children? So do not forget to read the chapter. Thank you and have a great day ahead.